Georgia, today marks the 106th anniversary of the 1916 Rising. I want to start today's proceedings with an invitation to Caolan McKeever to lay a wreath on behalf of Lasair Dhearg. On this day 106 years ago, hundreds of women and men seized strategic positions across Dublin City. Among them were the Irish Republican Brotherhood, the Irish Citizen Army, Cumann Man and the Fianna Éireann. As armed lines of marching women and men gathered in front of Dublin's GPO, they, along with the population of the city, were read the Proclamation. I'd like to invite Pól Torbóid to read the Proclamation of 1916.
Poblacht na hÉireann, the Provisional Government of the Irish Republic, to the people of Ireland. Irish men and Irish women, in the name of God and of the dead generations from which she receives her old tradition of nationhood, Ireland, through us, summons her children to her flag and strikes for her freedom. Having organised and trained her manhood through her secret revolutionary organisation, the Irish Republican Brotherhood, and through her open military organisations, the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizen Army, having patiently perfected her discipline, having resolutely waited for the right moment to reveal itself, she now seizes that moment and, supported by her exiled children in America and by gallant allies in Europe, but relying in the first on her own strength, she strikes in full confidence of victory. We declare the right of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland and to the unfettered control of Irish destinies, to be sovereign and indefeasible. The long usurpation of that right by a foreign people and government has not extinguished the right, nor can it ever be extinguished, except by the destruction of the Irish people. In every generation, the Irish people have asserted their right to national freedom and sovereignty. 6 times during the past 300 years they have asserted it in arms. Standing on that fundamental right, and again asserting it in arms in the face of the world, we hereby proclaim the Irish Republic as a sovereign, independent state, and we pledge our lives and the lives of our comrades in arms to the cause of its freedom, of its welfare, and of its exaltation among the nations. The Irish Republic is entitled to and hereby claims the allegiance of every Irishman and Irish woman. The Republic guarantees religious and civil liberty, equal rights and equal opportunities to all its citizens, and declares its resolve to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and of all its parts, cherishing all the children of the nation equally, and oblivious of the differences carefully fostered by an alien government which has divided the minority from the majority in the past. Until our arms have brought the opportune moment for the establishment of a permanent national government, representative of the whole people of Ireland, and elected by the suffrages of all her men and women, the Provisional Government, hereby constituted, will administer the civil and military affairs of the Republic and trust for the people. We place the cause of the Irish Republic under the protection of the Most High God, whose blessing we invoke upon our arms, and pray that no one who serves that cause will dishonour it by cowardice, inhumanity, or rapine. In this supreme hour, the Irish nation must, by its valour and discipline, and by the readiness of its children to sacrifice themselves for the common good, prove itself worthy of the august destiny to which it is called. Signed on behalf of the Provisional Government, Thomas J. Clarke, Sean McDermott, Thomas McDonough, P.H. Pearce, Eamon Kent, James Conley and Joseph Conley.
That historic document is and was the foundation of our 32-country republic. A republic that was to cherish all the children of our nation equally. A republic realised in the heroic acts of the women and men who faced all the might of the British Empire, and though gravely outnumbered, they fought like lions. Their deed and the executions that followed inspired an otherwise passive population to take up arms. In just a few short years, the battle fought from street to street in Dublin City on Easter week were to be fought on the ditches and roadsides of rural Ireland. As towns and villages across the country committed support and personnel to the effort, the deeds of Easter week were to be eclipsed and surpassed by the heroic acts of those who committed themselves to a monumental military effort. An effort met by the barbarity of Britain's war machine, as it gunned, raped and pillaged its way across our country. Unable to rein in the guerrilla tactics of the IRA, who faced down British military units in the field, perfidious Albion, deceitful as they are, sued for supposed common ground. What followed was partition, counter-revolution and the foundation of more bloodshed in years to come. This was the context within the sectarian statelet was formed, and though conflict ebbed and flowed, the state's war against the Irish population never ended. This was a state that discriminated against anything green for fear that it might dilute its orange character. Our language then, as now, was discriminated against because they know, like us, and in the words of Patrick Pearse, that a country without a language is a country without a soul. This was a unionist state for a unionist people. From its foundation, its borders harboured unionist death squads. The state not only protected them, supplied them, funded them, and utilised them in their war against our people. This past year marked a number of dates worth noting. 100 years of partition and the centenary of the sectarian statelet. This state will not see another one. The 30th anniversary of the Sean Graham Bookies massacre, a unionist death squad supported by the state and its armed mercenaries in RUC, gunned down 5 innocent people on Belfast Armour Road. The 40th anniversary of the 1981 hunger strike, where 10 brave men died fighting the criminalisation policies of the state. And the 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, where 14 unarmed civilians were gunned down by Britain's notorious parachute regiment on the streets of this very city. These acts occurred before the supposed new dispensation in the late 1990s. We were told that support for a Stormont government would allow us the space to achieve justice for those slain in massacres like Sean Graham Bookies and Bloody Sunday. We were told that support would help us achieve our ideals of a socialist republic. Instead, families are still fighting for justice as the armed wing of the state, the PSNI and others, use courts and legal procedures to hide evidence and cover up the truth. Our ideals have not only been unachievable through countless Stormont governments and various new agreements, but it has allowed the state apparatus to reap rewards for the rich and landlord class and to wreck our communities. More have died through suicide since the end of the war than those who were killed during it, an issue our city knows only too well. Poverty is endemic, homelessness is prevalent, families are having to choose between buying food and heating their homes, and the costs continue to rise. Be under no illusions, a war is at hand. This is a war between classes, between the haves and the have-nots, the state and the stateless, a war between us and them. As another generation strives for the realisation of the vision laid out in 1916, we appeal to like-minded comrades to join us. We cannot do it alone. Nothing less than a 32-county socialist republic will help us achieve a more equitable society. This is what those who marched in Dublin City on this day 106 years ago fought and died for. The only lasting tribute to them will be the achievement of their ideals, and only you can make that happen. Gurramina Melvin.